This is episode 61, and it'd be so great to have you along. As you can see, I'm feeling rather festive. I've decided it's time to don antlers and ears because I can. And I'm madly sitting here because I want to show you this. And I realised I was in the middle of a row. So I thought, oh, I need to finish this row so I can show you what I have been up to. But how's everything in your neck of the woods? Is anyone on holiday yet? Is first, oh gosh. Oh, come here, Mr. Needle. Don't you love it when you... It's the only thing is my throwing style... I know this doesn't happen quite so much with continental knitters. It's my style of knitting. My throwing style means that I often untwist my needles. Anyway, yes, holidays. Any of you on holiday yet? I have been, I am heading away, and well, when I say heading away from here, as in here, Skeinz here, having a wee staycation, and I'll tell you a little bit like that in a minute while I finish this up. But yes, it's all been very good at our house. But I'm going to tell you about this while I'm finishing this row. We have a kitten. We got a kitten on Wednesday night. And she flew up, and Miss Rebel is in the house, and she is the most confident little thing you've ever seen in your life. She is now ruling the roost. For those that don't know, we've actually always been a cat and dog household, but we lost our previous kitty, who was nearly 18 last year, and because we're not going away now, we did have plans in place for January, but everything's fallen through. You know, it's just COVID, how it is. So because we knew that, we thought, oh, okay, we're going to have a bit of a Hawke's Bay staycation, we suddenly thought, well, actually, this is the perfect time to kitty up and get a new kitten in the house, because we're all going to be here and we're going to be around. We can spend time with them, which, you know, when you get any of you who've had cats or dogs know the most important time is those, you know, early formative little years to get them all set in routines and things like that. So as I said, Miss Rebel arrived Wednesday night, and our two dogs, we've got a Mastiff and a Bulldog, and it's been hilarious. So the Bulldog has been completely ambivalent to the arrival of Little Miss. He sort of looked over and went, oh, yeah, cat for Christmas, that's nice, what's for tea? So he's not really been interested at all. Now, he's 8 next month, so he's a very middle-aged Bulldog, and Master Renly, whereas Mr. Rufus, who's the 3-year-old Mastiff, is still looking at his mother and father going, why? Why? Why is she here? What is it? Why can't I eat it? So, yes, it is very, yes. But anyway, Rufus is now sporting a rather large prominent scratch down the front of his nose, courtesy of Miss Rebel. So I think negotiations on the pecking order have now begun. So things, I have to say, the last couple of days there has been a bit more respect shown from the dog towards the kitten, and it looks like that, yes, things where the pack hierarchy is beginning to be established, let's put it that way. So it's all been fun and games in our house. I'm also waiting for her. I have a chair where I do my knitting, and of course I've got a table next to it, and I've got all sorts like circular needle, everything there. She had her first sort of cursory glance of, oh, this is all very interesting, this stuff over here. Let's put it this way, I can see that lots of things on that location will be shifted very, very soon. She's looking at it thinking, this all looks rather exciting and exotic, and the last thing I need is a kitten rearranging my knitting space. So it is, yes. It's funny having they're such time wasters, aren't they? Babies of any sort, incredible time wasters, and she is no exception. So she was I was knitting this over the weekend, and she did at one point sit on the chair next to me to help. So yes, it's great excitement. So here we go. Sorry about that. I hadn't realised until I picked it up just before, and I thought, So I have been working on, this is part of my Stitch in Summer project, and I'm now plucking out all the animal hairs so you don't see it against the stark yarn. So I am, for what I'm doing for Stitch in Summer is a bit of a challenge for you guys, is to take an existing pattern or something that you've had, that you've knit a lot and that's quite plain or quite normal, just simple, and actually, beefing it up a little bit or zhuzhing it up, doing something a little bit more radical, using either stuff out of your stash, doing something a little bit different, changing it up with different stitches or different colours to see what you can come up with. So for me, I chose Miss Jane, which I did as our summer knit along about probably 3 or 4 years ago now. And I love it. It's one of my favourite cardigans, and it's just, for me, it's one that fits all the time. Georgie Nicholson. So this is how we're going. So I did, so I've gotten as far as separation for body and sleeves. And part of the reason, and I'm striping, so I'm using, this is stash yarn. This is yarn from Deep Stash. I've had this for probably, well, actually I bought it in 2 separate lots. Same yarn, but I purchased 2 separate times. And this is Quince & Co. Chickadee. It's very similar knit-wise actually to our vintage to work with in terms of working with it. It's very like our vintage, in fact, just slightly finer in weight than our vintage, but colour-wise and how it's working up and handle is very, very similar to vintage. Colour-wise, though, if you like the colours, actually these colours come straight from our Orb colour palette, actually. So if you love the colours and you think, oh, I want to play around with those colours, we have pretty much all of these colours in Orb DK, with the exception of the one I've just finished the row of, which is almost a dead spit for truffles in vintage. So it's funny how the world works, isn't it? So this is it here. Now, one of the reasons I love this pattern, I'm just going to hold this up on my shoulder, is the way it's designed. The stripes will travel in 2 different directions. So I'll have the stripes going downwards at the top of the bodice, and then they will travel around the body for the remainder in the bodice, which, and actually if I flip around the back, you can see it there. So on the back, the stripes are horizontal. If I flip it around the front, that top half of the bodice and the sleeves, the stripes are vertical. So you've got a really neat visual effect, and they've just been separated out by a picked up band. I don't know whether you can see that band there, it's quite dark, which I've just done in moss stitch. She has got like a little patterning thing in the pattern that she's done, but because of the striping and the whole thing being quite geometric, I've chosen to just do the moss panel and keep it all very sort of even and structured. So that is where I'm at. I'm really rocking along with that. And I know, having knitted about half a dozen of these before, that as soon as I get to that sleeve separation, it pretty much rolls along really fast after that. So I am working down the body at the minute. I'm probably going to work down the body so far, and then I'm actually probably going to flick back to the sleeves and get the sleeves done. And what I'm thinking for the sleeves is, and this is the thing, because you learn all these little quirks and tricks, right? And you think, oh, I really like that. Oh, I quite like that. Well, I've just finished Rebel from the wonderful Libby Johnson. And so Rebel actually had a sleeve about this length. I like this length of sleeve. For me, it's that mid-length of sleeve is great. I wear it summer, winter. It's a really great length. So that's probably the length that I'll go with. But what I'm thinking with the sleeve is, I love the little placarded cuff that Libby did in her Rebel. So she just did that with garter stitch. Well, this is a moss stitch, and actually that little placarded cuff and moss stitch would look amazing. So that's actually a modification I think I'm going to make with this, is I'm going to work my sleeve down to here, and then actually, instead of just doing a plain cuff, do a little top placarded cuff instead, and just add a little bit of a extra zing to it. So that's the plan. And then the reason I'm going gangbusters on this is because I want to show is the new yarns that I talked about last week. So Peter briefly brought them in, because literally the container arrived while I was on air last week. So we have got 2 new yarns. I've been teasing them on social media across the weekend. 2 new yarns. Which these are concepts that we've had on our product development for a wee while. And the first, actually I'm going to show you the merinos first. We've been wanting to do a merino DK that was Kiwi merino, because we struggled to get New Zealand merino. We managed to get some New Zealand merino. We wanted to do New Zealand merino, and we wanted to do a yarn that wasn't shrink treated. That was actually just regular merino, so hand wash. But it's got, the thing is with hand wash yarns is you do have, I think, a really nice handle and feel with it. Like you have a really beautiful, almost plushness with it that I really, really like. And we're so slammed at our mill at the moment. Like we've been at capacity pretty much right across the year. Everyone has started knitting with COVID, and in these extended lockdowns internationally. This is an international trend, not just here in this country. And we manufacture for clients around the world, not just here in New Zealand. So we are so completely slammed over there. And so a lot of the new development plans that we've had for Skeinz have sort of been on the go slow because we've been struggling to just get capacity through of our own existing yarns in our range. So we've really wanted to bring some new yarns to you. In one of these, this flight has pretty much been on the board on the new product development board for a couple of years. So we started hunting around for an alternative mill to spin these. So the first thing, obviously, we looked locally for the level of what we wanted to do. We knew what we wanted, and we just couldn't find what we were after locally. We didn't. We do some stuff locally. We've our incognito yarns, of course. That some of those have been spun by Wool Yarns down in Wellington. So we then also cast our eyes further afield because we do things for other people overseas. So we thought, right, let's see what else is through some of the contacts that we've had. And anyway, we got a contact, this fantastic mill in China, and they are really wonderful. They awesome communication, really neat team, fantastic facility, very similar to what we do here. So we really felt quite comfortable working with them. They've been great. We've given them our concept. We've told them what we've wanted to do. We've managed the process every step of the way, and they have, and even organised the fibre, everything, and they have spun it for us. And we couldn't be happier. The yarn is called Flight. And we've got, hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 colours. Ooh, sounds unlucky, but it's not, I promise. And it's an incredible range of, as I said, New Zealand merino, and we wanted to be able to bring it in a non-machine wash format. And we've gone and broken it down into sort of 2 groups of colours. We've done some nice lighter softer tones, which works fantastically well if you are knitting for babies. I'm going to hold all of these up in a second when I can. And it's gorgeous. It's a beautiful full fold twist. It's spun to the same count as our vintage. So if you've knitted with our vintage and you love it, you will absolutely love Flight. It is merino, so it is a wee bit softer than our vintage. So those are the gelato tones there. Aren't they gorgeous? This is my personal favourite. This one's called Swan. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? It's the prettiest, softest pink. It's actually very, very similar to our cream rose and pearl, but just a wee bit richer. So those are the gelato, the soft gelato tones there. And these are the richer tones, which also have a couple of neutrals in there as well. So as you can see, we had a cream in there. And these are the rich tones. And we've gone and done the cream. We've got a couple of, hold them up, there we go. Look at those. Aren't they great? Absolutely fantastic. So we've gone and done a good mid-grey. So this grey is quite different. Actually, it's funny. Grey is one of those shades that there are so many different options. So this is a classic mid-grey. It's right in the middle of the spectrum for grey, which is awesome. So if you wanted a lighter grey, we do have lighter greys and we do have deeper greys here within our colour palette with Urban Deluxe or within Vintage. And the beautiful thing with this, as I said, this is spun to the same count as Vintage, so you can mix and match this with Vintage, no problem whatsoever. And in fact, this mix with Vintage is great, both not machine washable, so you just treat it exactly the same. So this is, in a way, extends your colour palette across there. But then we've got other sort of, these richer tones. I mean, look at those. That's the Monarch and the Tui. really lovely rich jewel tones. So we're super, super, super excited about these. So those are, they will be going live very, very soon. They're all up with our photographer at the moment. And as soon as I get those photographs, and touch wood, it'll be this week. They're live now in stores. So if you're local or you're visiting and you come into our Napier store, they are on the shelf. They went on the shelf this morning, and I hope to have these online ASAP. So the other thing we did, and this is actually part of the reason why we discovered the mill that we had, is we've been wanting to do a long ombre print yarn, which is a process that we can't do in our own mill. We don't have the equipment to do it. So we've been looking for a place that we can do that. And there's a few different options around it. And there was ways that you could look for long single ombre yarns. A lot of them were singles because they were dyed, and you just had one single dyed, and then you would have it all knitted up. The thing with single yarns, if you've ever knitted them, they're fun and they feel great, but the wearability isn't super fantastic. So to be fair, I have a bit of a thing with singles yarns. It's a love-hate relationship, and so I sort of wasn't quite so keen to go down there, because I know for you guys the colours look amazing, but you then would develop a very deep and meaningful relationship with your deep pillar, and we didn't want to do that. So then we sort of thought, well, who else does these really fun coloured yarns? And there is Joanna's saying, could you show us the deep blues and green together, please? The deep blues and green together. So there's the blues. Oh, and there's two blues and two greens. There's the two blues and there's the two greens. So that's Kingfisher. That's darker blues called Dragonfly. This one's called Katie Did, and that one is called Lace Wing. In case you hadn't picked it up, they're all they're all flying things. Those are blues and greens. Oh, see, look, I've just seen this combination now, that because I threw them all back in the basket. See, look, there's the yellows and the pinks. I mean, I love that. Isn't that just, it's like butter? It's gorgeous. Chickadee, that one's called. Anyway, sorry, I got distracted. So another yarn that you may have seen out that has been around that people adore is the spin cycle, which is that has been hand spun, a lot of that, and that takes sort of long draws of colour, which they've then hand spun. I mean, the yarn is amazing, really, really beautiful. And it's, I know, it's a real sort of desert island type yarn. We love it. But of course, it is made in the US, and it is expensive. So for us, we're also about value. We really want to make sure that we could give you the value for the yarn, and give you yarn that is affordable for everybody. So we went to them, and they came back and they said, well, how about this? And they gave us some samples, and we fell in love with them instantly. And from those samples, we've created this range. Now I'm going to show you these colors, but these colors really, I'm going to take a picture of them out in the shop and post them later on, aren't truly representative for how they work. But the yarn is going to be called Pulse, and here they are. Look at those. So think spin cycle dyed in the wool, think Crazy's elbow ball, think that style of yarn. So what they are, and where's the one I pulled out earlier, because it was a really great example. I think it was that one there. So what they are, these are full fold yarns again, same count as the flight. So it means that you can mix and match flight with pulse. You can mix and match pulse with vintage. Okay, so and there's a reason for this. There's a method for this madness, because a lot of these yarns now are used within colour work. So you can use them. I'm actually going to knit these yarns into another Miss Jane, because I love the fact that I'm going to get the changing colours of the stripes in different directions. I think that's going to look fantastic. And then I'm going to show you the samples we're going to get knitted up with our sample knitter across the summer for the store. And you'll see why we've chosen them. But the thing that because these are long ombre prints, I mean, this one here is called Ripple, right? So this is it there, and you think, oh gosh, those blues and greens, they look so cool. But wait, I'm just going to pull the guts of this ball out a little bit just to show you what I mean. Because it is a long ombre print, it's not just blues and greens. And this particular one, it actually ripples from cooler colours into warmer colours. See that? So it's been designed that you can pretty much get an entire repeat within a ball, but not all the repeats are exactly the same, because these again are fourfold twists. So the twists, because you've got 4 strands going together, there'll always be slightly different color variances. So whilst the print of the ombres of every single is consistent, how they're actually applied together is a little bit more random. It's got a little bit more rhythm to it, which means that when it comes to knitting it up, you're going to get these incredible moods of color. So I love this one. So, of course, this is very me, is it not? So some of the variances are not as dramatic as others. So this one isn't quite such a dramatic. This is one that's more moody. So as you can see, you've got sort of deeper blues that it moves into, and then these warmer hot colors here. And then you've got others like this. This one here is called Flow, and this one is just whole. This one literally flows through all the different variances of these blues and greens. But then we have other ones like this one here, which is called Flutter, and Flutter has got quite a big contrast between the colours that it rotates out and around through. So there is some really, I think these are incredibly exciting. If you're wanting to do fun knits for babies and kids, these are brilliant. Use them on their own. You've just got this riot of colour, particularly if you've got patterns that are just very plain, very, very plain patterns. The yarn will do all the work for you, and it will just be these really, I mean, you'll be knitting wanting to see where the colours go next. I just know you will. And they will be so much fun. But if you're wanting to do something a little bit more grown up with them, this is the beautiful thing, because these yarns have been around with a number of are you open for online orders? Christine is asking. Yes, we are. With these yarns very soon, but definitely online, open for online orders, and I'll let you know the cutoffs for those very shortly. So we've gone and picked 3 patterns that we're going to get done up across the summer with our sample knitter, plus what I'm going to knit the Miss Jane as well. So we're really hoping to have loads of samples for you to have a look at. The first one we're going to do is this one, The Shift, from Angela Maori. And many of you would have seen that. It's been around for a long time. It's knitted using the spin cycle, and we're going to get this one knitted up. And I think she uses in this, she uses 3 different colours in this. So we're going to pick probably 3 different colours that sort of move and shift off with it. So it'll possibly be something like that, for example. So, and I just to show you what you can do in a really quick, easy pattern. The second pattern, the other 2 patterns we're going to build, the second one is also an Andrea Maori. It's quite a new pattern, and it's one that's only been around a little bit, and it is so cute. It's called Bean and Olive. Look at that. Gorgeous little colourwork sweater. It's she's done it for sizes up to 10 years old, so it's a children's pattern, but we loved it because we've got it, it's designed to be sort of colourwork with plain. And see, you look at that one, I mean, that one's a silver on the front, but see, look at those. You could, I mean, I think that and that would look amazing. And the 2 of these work together will be incredible. So we want to do a design that shows you how to actually combine both flight and pulse together and see how they work. So we're going to do that. And for grown-ups, where did I put the grown-ups? There's the grown-ups one. For the grown-ups, we have this one here, which is the Feather Cardigan by Heidi May. This cardigan, the great thing about this cardigan is this one has also been done, her sizings on this from 1 to 2 years all the way through to 3XL. So she's done all the way through to adults. And I mean, you look at that, and I just sort of look at that option, and I can immediately sort of see that combo, or there's so many different combos you can throw in here, but we're going to do that one. as well. So watch out for those in the new year. But there is a ton of those sorts of combos as well. Another project that I think that would look fantastic in this is Goldwing, which I've already knitted by Jennifer Steingast. I think Goldwing in this would be amazing. I mean, those two. In fact, you actually want something with a bit of contrast. If you felt like doing a cream sort of coloured Goldwing, and you could then throw in some crazy contrast like this, would be amazing. Or even actually, oopsie, that would be amazing. Or even that would be amazing. I mean, I could sit here and go on all day. Best thing about all these yarns, they're going to be everyday price $5.95 a ball, which we're delighted with. We really, really wanted to do that. Oh, you're asking about, it is all DK. What ply is it, Elon? It's DK. It's exactly the same count as our vintage. So you could actually, if you want to expand your colour options, you could actually use vintage with this. It's merino, so it is a wee bit softer than our vintage, but not so. But when you knit it, like, it won't be a massive difference, but it will. Yeah, it's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. The other cardigan too, and actually I've been really good. I think I've gone and done the show. I'm going to pull this up on the screen share and show this to you. I just wanted to show you this one as well. So this one is the Spark by Angela Mowry. Come here we go. And I pulled this one out. We're not going to get this in the sample. This is a pretty full-on pattern, right? This is one that got quite a bit of press back a few months ago. She released this, I think, about 3 months ago. To me, I mean, it's a very 70s inspired wrap cardigan, right? Like, it's retro but fun, and she's gone and added her really funky twist to it, and it's utterly gorgeous. And she copped a bit of flack for it when she released it. I mean, she did it as a collaboration with the two young companies, and she copped a bit of flack because claiming that the cost to knit that was around $400 because the yarns that are used are really bespoke, premium. I mean, beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And so a number of people, I think, were quite upset that there weren't alternatives. See, my answer to that is you know, you have Ravelry and use your brain for half a second and figure out alternatives. You know, she's gone and given us this incredible inspiration and beautiful patterns. So I kind of thought that's what I'm here for. I'm the ultimate enabler to give you alternatives. So I had a look at the pattern. It's a 20 stitch tension, which you should get with this. And the way the stitching and stuff is done, you can get away with using a slightly bigger needle than you normally would. And of course, it's that beautiful cream. And we have the cream here in Dove. So we do have a cream. And it is utterly amazing. So it's quite an involved knit, right? You know, it is something that you would certainly spend a bit of time doing, and it uses a lot of yarn. As you can imagine, being a big wrap cardigan like that, you're looking at a kilo of the cream and about another 500 grams of the coloured yarn. So it is a really, really yarn hungry project. But you would expect that. I mean, it's literally a knitted jacket, so that's neither here nor there. I've just done a quick tot up of what it would cost to knit this in pulse and in flight. And I've gone and done it on the very largest size, so then that way, if you're in smaller sizes, it's less from there. But if you were to do it in flight and pulse, or for the very largest size, you're looking at around $144 to knit that. That's pretty amazing, really. And I would be inclined, if you were to do it, I would be inclined to definitely go either there, would do it, or there. And you would get that. It'd be amazing. Absolutely amazing. So, you know, just there are some, if you're already looking for patterns to stick in the queue with this stuff, anything that's a DK pattern, I mean, as I said, it's the same count as the vintage. So anything in a DK or anything up to 20 stitches, you will get away with a 20 to 22 stitches is the golden. You could do a 24 stitch tension on this as well. It will give you a really beautiful firm fabric. But the golden zone is that 20 to 22 stitch tension for Flight and Pulse. So start having a look in your queues now. And fingers crossed, I will get that up for you this week. Hopefully today or tomorrow if the pictures arrive. So yes. I'm so excited. Honestly, Claire and I were on cloud nine on Thursday when we left here. The colours have come out better. We wanted to also do different colours. Have you noticed that most of those colours are quite different to a lot of the colours that we already have? I mean, like the Monarch. Where's the Monarch? The orange. Because I'm feeling orange is the new jam. Orange is going to be the new mustard, people. We all know that I love a bit of orange, but I think orange is the new mustard for next year. And see, this is a really lovely pumpkiny orange. It's quite different to the oranges we had before. And this is so, I love, this is my favourite, this one. Absolutely love it. So we've got nothing like this in the range. Even the pink is different to any other pink we've got in the range. So it is, fantastic. Going to be really good. Can't wait. Right, what else do I need to let you know about? Christmas. How's your Christmas shopping going? I've got a few things that I need to sort of sort out. I'm mostly there. I'm 99% there. Like I'm on to what I call always my final week, little fiddly things, which is great. Quite happy about that. But if you are still stuck about Christmas shopping, we've got orders, big lot of orders that'll be going out today. We could probably, if you ordered today, touch wood, fingers crossed, we could actually get it to you for Christmas, particularly if you live North Island and you usually get something sort of overnight 2-day. We could still do it. But you need to get your skates on in order. And one of the things you should get your skates on is today is the last day for the Alluring, the beautiful pink that was on sale, our Stitch and Summer bonus that was there for the weekend. So do jump on for that. And the other one that's an extra Stitch and Summer bonus just for the weekend is 50% off all our hippie. And I've just got to grab this to show you. This is one of the hippie cushion covers. This is how they will come in beautiful packaging like that, all together there. And these now are fantastic value at 50% off. Everything's 50% off, the covers, the inners, everything. So if you're wanting a last minute gift, or you've got a wedding coming up, or there's a christening or any sort of gift giving, birthdays, because that's the other thing too, isn't it? Birthdays around this time of year are fraught. If you're looking for something, these hippie homewares and the hats make fantastic gifts, and you may as well get them for 50% off. So that comes off today, last day today. So make sure you get those ordered if you want to do them. If you're looking for something for the kids or the grandies, so if you're having some time with them over the school holidays and you're wanting something to do with them, first thing is Friday, we had a new shipment of penguins arrive. Our penguin mascots, we still have them. We still are pulling funds together that we donate back to penguin causes here and around the bay. And so this is Peggy. Who have I got here? This is Flip. This is Peggy. We've also got some Glorias as well. She's a yellow-eyed penguin. And they will come with your own jumpers. These guys are naked. We haven't got them dressed yet. But these arrived in on Friday. So if you, they make fantastic gifts. Really, really fun gifts. And all the profits from the jumpers on those go to penguin charities. So we've been doing things like Cape Sanctuary. Did anyone see Country Calendar last night with Cape Sanctuary here in Hawke's Bay? Well, we did a project where we donated all the costs of all the materials for penguin burrowing boxes that went on at Cape Sanctuary a year or two ago. And the incredible Scout and Guide troops here made those all up and did them. These... You better come on, Cooper. The lovely Virginia's just here. Yes, so that was amazing. So that's the sort of thing that we actually put that money towards, and it just helps our little feathered friends, because I don't know whether you're aware, but penguins actually nest all the way around the coastline here in Hawke's Bay. Where I live in Ahuriri, you don't see them very often. You do see them from time to time going out for a wee splash, but you do actually hear them at night. And I know that we even went walking our dogs quite late last night, right on dusk, and you can hear them in the rocks as they sort of nest away there. We've also been getting our orca, we've got a pot of orcas that come and visit the bay as well. They've been in and around the last couple of weeks too, so it's been all on for us. The other thing we got in last week as well is we got in fresh stocks of the Ashford needle felting kits. You guys loved these. So we've got some more of the sheep kit. That one's $9.25, and we've got more of the Tui and the Pukeko, which I just love. How can you not love these? They're so cool. And they just make really wonderful, affordable, crafty gifts. And particularly if you've got a grandy to buy for and you're just wanting to give them something that's really tactile and hands-on and something that you can share with them as well. Or even one of your own children or a friend or anybody, they're wonderful gifts. So those have all been stocked up. So do jump on, and they're on the Ashford section. So those are there. Right, I'm just crossing off my lists. Right, last thing, holiday. Last thing on my list, and then I'll stop talking. Holiday. I'm going to be taking a break from the diaries. Probably I'll do today and I'll do Thursday, and then that will probably be me for about 3 weeks, and then I'll be back week 3 of January. I'm having a bit of a staycation. I'll possibly pop up on social media here and there, but the diaries will go on a wee bit of a hiatus, but I will be back. I promise I'll be back. And then our store, though, if you're visiting the bay, and I know a whole heap of you are coming through here across the break, we've kept it quite simple this year. We closed the 2 4-day weekends across Christmas and New Year. So Friday through Monday of Christmas. This weekend we'll be closed. Thursday's our last day, so we'll be closed Friday through Monday, and then Friday through Monday the following week. But the rest of the time it is opening hours as normal. So you'll find those on our website. So just go and check those out. In terms of orders, we will be sending out orders all the way up until Christmas Eve. And then ostensibly the only days where orders won't go out will be on those stat days or our regular days. So our warehouse is remaining open. We are on holiday staff. We've got staff taking holidays. So sometimes there might be an extra day's delay here or there, but we're pretty confident we should stay on top of it for you. So that is me for today. Oh, excellent. Right, I've got so much. I'm going to go back and get some more things loaded up. And Stitch in Summer. Let's not forget Stitch in Summer. Tomorrow, it is something featured on the sale page, and it's going to be, it's quite a new yarn, and it's going to have quite a deep discount. That's all I'm going to give you for today. So look out for that. That will be coming out again tomorrow. It'll be in your inboxes. I think it's scheduled to go out somewhere about 12:30 a.m. for the newsletter, and then the social media will kick in from about 6 in the morning. But Stitch in Summer is still happening. Again, this one is going to be an absolute cracker if you are knitting on a budget or knitting for charity. You will not want to miss tomorrow's Stitch in Summer. So until then, have a great week. Get your shopping done. Enjoy the weather while you can, and hopefully you've had a chance to put your feet up and doing a stitch or two. I'll see you on Thursday.